Hello and welcome to another Design Cuts video tutorial. In this tutorial I'll show you how to create seamless repeating patterns from objects in Illustrator. Now for this video I've borrowed some elements from a Design Cuts collection. The collection I'm using is 50 Boho Tribal Gypsy brushes by Marish. These are really nice sort of hand-drawn elements that go really well in the kind of patterns that I'm creating here in Illustrator. So let's go to the Tribal Boho Brushes file. This is the one that comes in the package that you download. And in the Brushes panel here, you have access to all the brushes in this particular file. Now the brush I'm going to use is called Pattern Brush 63 and it's the leaf shape, and what I'm doing is just dragging it out of the brushes panel and into this area here. You'll see that I have had no effect on the pattern brush, so I haven't destroyed the brush. All I've done is extracted an element from the brush that I can use in a pattern. So I'm going to select this and cut it out of this document and take it to a brand new document that I have already created, and I'll just paste it in here. Now I'm going to make the pattern that you saw here from this particular shape. So with it selected, if you're using Illustrator CS6 or any of the CC versions, you can use the new Pattern Make tool to make your pattern. You'll choose Object and then Pattern Make. If you see this dialog here, just click OK. The Pattern Options dialog lets you set up the pattern, so you can make some choices here about what you want your pattern to look like. And this area here, the tile type, is key to a number of different arrangements for your shapes. So you can select, for example, brick by row or brick by column. You can also select hex by column to have a different offset for your tiles, and hex by row. You'll notice that brick by row and brick by column have a brick offset, and here I've got a half offset. But if you use a different offset, you'll see that the pattern just takes on a different form. Now I happen to like the brick by row 1/2 offset. I think that's a really nice pattern layout. Now if we want to change the spacing between our shapes, we do that here in the width and height area. Now you can lock down the spacing so any increase or decrease affects both the width and height, or you can click this to release it so that you can only affect one of these at a time. And I want to affect the height, so I want to increase the height, so I space my shapes out just a little bit. So I just click in this box and just press the up arrow until I see a result that I like. Now the area down here, the number of copies, only has to do with what you see on the screen right now. It has nothing to do with the actual pattern. But sometimes the settings here can make it easier to see what your pattern's actually going to look like. So the number of copies just specifies that I'm saying a 5x5 arrangement. You could choose a smaller arrangement, say a 3x3, or you could choose a much larger one like 9x9. But again, it's having no effect on the final pattern. It would be identical whatever of these settings you happen to choose. Now you can also dim copies. So if I dim my copies to say 40%, it makes it really obvious which is my pattern piece, and all the others are going to be created when I actually create the pattern. Sometimes it's helpful to have your view set like this. Most of the time I'm just happy not to. You can also show the tile edge or not by clicking on this checkbox here, and you can show the swatch bounds or not. But essentially all you have to do is fill in this top area and you've got a pattern. When you're happy with the arrangement, how things look on the screen, just click Done. And you'll go back to the document that you had before you used the Pattern Make tool, all except for the fact that you now have a pattern in your swatches panel. So let's just take this shape and tuck it away to one side, and let's go and create a rectangle that is the size of the artboard. I'm going to center it over the artboard, and I have its fill targeted here, so I'll click on my new pattern swatch. And this is the pattern that I've just created in the Pattern Make tool. It is as easy as that to make a repeating pattern, a seamless repeating pattern in Illustrator. But of course, this pattern is very simple. Let's have a look now at creating something just a little bit more complex. Let's return to our Tribal Boho brushes, and this time I'm going to choose a different brush. So I'm just going to open up the brushes panel, and the one I'm looking for is here, and it's called Pattern Brush 60. Again, I'm just going to drag it out of the brushes panel. Haven't done anything to the brush. I'm just borrowing the shape from the brush to make my pattern with. So I'm going to cut it out of this document. I'm going to paste it into yet another brand new document that I've already pre-prepared. It doesn't matter what size your document is. So let's just zoom into the work area, because what I want to do with this shape here is I want to duplicate it and rotate it. So I'm just going to select the original, hold the Alt key on a PC, Option on a Mac, as I drag a duplicate away. And this one I'm going to rotate 180 degrees by holding the Shift key as I rotate it. And now let's put these a little bit closer together again. And I can also make sure that they're nicely centered by selecting both of them. I'm going to the Align options here. I'm going to choose Show Options. I'm going to align to Key Object. Either of these can be the key object in this circumstance. And then I'm just going to make sure that they're nicely centered. Now I'm going to make a pattern from this combination of shapes. So I'll select over the combination of shapes here and choose Object Pattern Make. And at first glance, everything looks pretty horrible, but let's just click here on Maintain Height and Width, and let's go and increase the spacing. I've got the horizontal spacing working really well, but I think the vertical spacing is out. So let's click here and let's just make the height bigger. And now I can see what my pattern's going to look like, and it looks a whole lot better than it did a minute ago. But I'm just going to finesse the arrangement now. What I want is just a seamless repeat for just this particular tile. I don't want to use the brick or hex options here. I just want a nice big repeating pattern. And at this point, I'm just going to eyeball the arrangement just to make sure that it looks visually correct to me. At this point, it might be handy to not show the tile edge, so you can look at your pattern and see if the repeat is looking good. And when you've got it looking good, then just click Done. And exactly as we did in the previous example, let's move our tile out of the way. Let's create a rectangle that is the size of the artboard, and just center it on the artboard, and let's go and test our brand new pattern. So this is what our pattern looks like. Now, if you look at your pattern and think, oh, I think I would have liked it a little bit closer together, well, we can make it so. All we're going to do is double click on the pattern in the swatches panel, and that opens up the pattern dialog all over again, and we can make some changes. So what I'm going to do is close this up just a little bit. And when I'm happy, I'll click Done. And now we see the result of the new iteration of our pattern design on the screen. The pattern that we had previously created has gone, and it's been replaced by the new version of the pattern, the one that we just edited. Now, of course, if you want to, you can make the pattern bigger or smaller. And to do this, you'll just select the shape that the pattern is in and choose Object, Transform. To make it larger or smaller, choose Scale. You'll want to turn Preview on, and you will want to turn Transform Objects off, because you want to transform the pattern but not the object that it's contained in. And I'm just going to make this pattern bigger and click OK. And you can also rotate it. So if you want to see this pattern, say, at a 45-degree angle, again with the rectangle selected, choose Object, Transform, Rotate. Again, make sure that Transform Objects is deselected. Make sure Previews turn on so you can see what you're doing. And let's rotate it at 45 degrees. And we can just click OK. So that's how you can take elements that either you create yourself or that come with one of your Design Cuts collections and turn them into a seamless repeating pattern. I hope that you've enjoyed learning these Illustrator techniques. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the tutorial. I'm Helen Bradley. Until next time.